Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Above the Bar podcast, where each week we belly up to the bar with a new guest, find out what they do, who they are, and what makes them great. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the Above the Bar podcast. It's your host, Sean. We've bellied up to the bar on the last Wednesday in August, believe it or not. And it's one of those weird ones where we're pushing out of Labor Day and all those different things. So we're going to go ahead. Listen, you guys know my favorite politics are California politics because I don't even live in California. But our good friend Kristen Manna always hooks it up with somebody out that way. So I was trying to think how I could associate and have this great opening, because I used to watch Up All Night with Rhonda. So I'm not going to be up all night with Rhonda, but I am going to be here for about the next hour with Rhonda. And you can join us as we're talking with Miss Rhonda. And I'm going to jack it up here in a minute, Rhonda. I should ask you. Miss Rhonda, is it Shader? Say Miss Rhonda Shader. And we're talking about how do you get involved in state government and why would anybody even want to do it?
The question for the ages. Yes.
Listen, Rhonda. I mean, and especially because you're running on and we'll talk about this here more. You're running on a Republican ticket in California, right?
I am, yes.
That's like, that is who was it that had to push the stone up the hill? In Greek mythology. Gosh, I can't think of his name right now. Wasn't Atlas. Atlas held the world up.
Yes.
I can't think of his name right now.
But it's an uphill climb.
It really is. It is 100% in California, not uphill climb.
But it's necessary.
It is a necessary evil out there. Somebody's got to do it, and you're going to be the one to do it. So, alrighty, folks, before we get too far into it with Rhonda, let's go ahead and take care of some house cleaning, as we always need to do around here. As always, folks, over my right shoulder is the big board for sticker and a cause. You got something you believe in, something you want to support, something that you care about, and you've got a sticker associated with it. You can reach out to us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. Our Facebook or our website is theabovethebarpodcast.com. Our email is theabovethebarpodcast@gmail.com. You can reach out to us. Let us know what you got going on. We'll tell you where to send that sticker to, and we'll read all about you live here on the air for everybody to know about it. We also need to go ahead and talk about the people that pay the bills around here, and that's Budget Blinds of East Greenbush, Hudson, Coxsackie. Look, my cousin Kathy's already out there. East Greenbush, Hudson, Coxsackie, Schoharie, Del Mar, Clifton Park, and their newest location of Lake George. Budget Blinds is North America's largest custom window treatment company, handling everything from blind, shade, shutter, drapery, you name it, they're taking care of it. And here's the biggest thing, folks, is they come to your home, they measure it for you, they install it for you, they take care of everything for you, and they're the only custom window treatment company, really the only window treatment company in North America that has a no questions asked warranty. Meaning when you're celebrating your win and you become which district is it? Rhonda, is 32nd?
34 state senator.
30. When you become the District 34 state senator in California and you're celebrating and the poppers are going off, the champagne's spilling, and you get it all over your custom window treatment, you can call your Budget Blinds and say, hey, I need to replace this. No cost, one time, no questions asked. They'll replace that window treatment for you. So if you're in the capital region, isn't it nice? I mean, not too shabby, 2 for 1. So as always, folks, if you're here in the capital region, make sure you tell them you're there to belly up to the bar. They're going to give you an additional 5% off of that order. So make sure you're reaching out to Budget Blinds of East Greenbush, Hudson, Coxsackie, Schoharie, Del Mar, Clifton Park, and Lake George. They're there to help you out with all your custom window treatments. All right, folks. So that part's done. How are you, Miss Rhonda? How are things in California?
Good. There's nothing better than good window treatments.
Listen, I mean, they're really, especially if good stuff, like good drapery and things like that. Yeah. My wife always laughs at me, because I'm out there. If you didn't know it, folks, I'm the Budget Blinds guy. But my wife always laughs. 20 years in the Marine Corps, I'm in people's houses going, let me show you these beautiful drapery. You like this? This looks nice in your place, huh? It never ceases. But all right, Miss Rhonda. So you are running for District 34, California State Senator. Now, let's start with this. What encompasses District 34, if anybody was looking it up?
Okay, so since this is a very broad audience, I will just nutshell it for you, it's the West Coast Disneyland area. Disneyland is in my district,
Okay.
as well as the home of the Anaheim Angels and the Ducks hockey team. All of that is part of my district.
Now that's got to be a challenge in and of itself because, I'm just curious now that you mentioned that because all that's owned by Disney. Disney owns all those teams also.
No, that's not true.
They don't. I thought they owned the Angels
No.
and the Ducks because the Ducks were their property because it was their movie.
They did own the Ducks for a time, but the Angels are owned by Art Moreno.
Okay.
A guy. And
is he left? Is he a left side of the fence or right side of the fence?
And now the Ducks are owned by a local family here called the Samwallis.
Okay.
So, but I think you have that in the back of your head because there was a time when they were calling them the Mighty Ducks, and they were part of the Disney franchise. Yeah, but that
remember that.
Yeah.
Okay. See, and
they
see,
had
look,
a great
folks,
year.
she knows all about her district. She knows about her
I
district.
do.
She knows what's happening. She
do.
knows the family. She knows the names.
Yes, and a lot of tourism, obviously, because of all of those things. And we're going to have some Olympic Games here in my district in 28 when they come to Los Angeles. So, yeah, it's a very exciting district, actually.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute, though. When you're running in a district like that, where call it what it is. Those are all big, powerful money names and things you're naming there. How much does that affect? I don't know, and we're going to talk about other roles that you've had throughout that area. But how does that affect your campaigning? Like, do you have if you don't have their backing, is it like truly an uphill battle, or do most of those groups kind of stay in the background? Like, hey, we don't have time for this because you could affect their lives.
So a little of both, but they don't really. They stay in the background in the sense that most of them, you want them to know who you are and what you stand for, but most of them choose to play politically through independent expenditures, which of course my campaign would have nothing to do with. And they're only going to do that if they feel like it's a race they need to come in on because, they want to influence one way or the other. Now, there may be some races where they're like, I think we're good either way, And so that's for them to decide. But my job is to make sure that I'm known and that I'm known for the right things.
I just find that absolute. I love the fact that you're saying, hey, you're keeping that donor money away, but I'm going to play devil's advocate for a minute. You ready for a little devil's advocate? I got to ask this question because we're on this one now.
Sure.
In those kind of cases, would you say it's even worth it though? If Mickey Mouse showed up at the door and was like, hey, Rhonda, I got a couple bucks for you. And you were like, and it was like, hey, but you that hey, at that point you're beholden to those groups.
Yeah.
Is it worth it to get the larger agenda done? If you know that'll get you that hump.
So I've been in politics for a while now. I was in local politics for 8 years. And I can tell you that if I took a few bucks from Mickey or any of those organizations, that I would not feel beholden to them. What I would do, which I would do anyway, is I would listen to whatever their position was and their side, and I would consider it. But I'm going to do that anyway. So you just have to have a very strong moral compass and leadership courage. And then that will allow you to take money from anybody. But we have limits on what people can give us. So that limits it. Our limits are around $5,000. So $5,000 isn't enough to throw away your whole
yes. I try to explain that to people.
So I know a lot of people feel that way, and I recognize why, because there are some politicians that have gotten into that. But normally that's not for donations. Those are things that are like backroom deals, bribes, things like that. And it's been my experience in politics that those are very limited.
I think they
But
are.
it's
They're
more
more
about the
limited.
comfort level of the candidate. I mean, I've taken money from people and then fired them because I got into the position and I investigated and I realized they were the problem, or they were part of a solution for the city that I was helping run. So that has to be my priority, regardless of who gave me what. So
That takes a lot of guts. I mean, to be able to look at somebody and do that. We talked around here that I think some folks that sit up on large hills have lost sight of that, where they take the money and then they go, I got to keep getting it. I'm addicted to it. This is how
yeah.
I pay my bills. So that's awesome. And especially I love the fact that I didn't realize in California that individual donations were limited to 5 grand like that. I think I mean, I don't say a lot of nice things about out there, it's the left coast as far as I'm concerned. But I
Yeah.
do find that very interesting, and I love hearing that, like, hey, we're going to put a cap on this, because if you can throw away your moral compass for 5 grand, especially at that level, you've got a whole other brand of
Yeah.
issue of problems. Like, that's a whole
Yeah.
another animal right there. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But now you said you had 8 years prior to that. What were you doing politically 8 years prior to
I
this?
I did. So that's kind of what catapulted me to want to run for state office. Is I own an insurance agency in town,
Nice.
and about 10 years ago, my city was on the verge of bankruptcy, and some people talked to me and said, "Hey, do you think you could come help?" And so I really looked at it as a form of service. It's, kind of a part-time gig locally with my city, trying to help them out, bring whatever skills and knowledge and effort I have to the table. I did have to run for that position. And I was also mayor of my city twice during that time.
Nice. Which city is
Yeah.
it?
Placentia, which is
Okay.
right next door to Anaheim, where Disneyland is.
I've
So
heard of it. I've heard of it.
yeah, it's a very urban area, so a lot of cities right next to each other. So, it was that service and my ability to influence and turn my city around and make things better for the people in my city that kind of gave me the public service bug and made me realize, one, that it's a great way to bring value to people's lives, which I enjoy doing, and two, I have a knack for it. I have a gift, and I don't get disturbed when people yell at me or tell me their position that's different than mine. I'm willing to be that sounding board, to be that conduit for change, for them to talk to. I just learned how to place it. And it took me a while. I don't want to say on day one it was perfect, but the way our government runs is actually amazing. Our founding fathers had the right idea. The way our constitutions are set up and the way that volunteers within the community come and run things and listen to people it's magic when it works right.
I would agree.
And it can make places better. But when you have a state government that's thwarting your efforts the whole way and making things harder, it makes you want to go up there and try to influence things up there. And so when the opportunity arose for me to run in this district, I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a run. Even though, like you said, it is an uphill battle. I think the conservative messaging and the fact that there's a better way. And really recently, I have felt really compelled to be a voice for the voiceless, because so many people feel voiceless with their government. They don't feel heard. They don't feel like they're thinking about them. And, I don't know if you kept track or anybody heard about this, but, recently California made a decision about the kind of tires we can put on our car. And that's going to change.
I didn't hear that one. That's so stupid.
Yes. So over the next 4 to 6 years, we're going to be limited on our choices for tires. And you know what?
And please tell me more about it. What is the logic here? Help me understand this.
We're bellied up to the bar. There are people that when they have to put tires on their car, it's a problem for them financially. It's a big issue.
Listen, I've been there, done that.
I have too. And, I have people that rely on tires and their car for their businesses, whether they're in gardening, construction,
Right.
service businesses. This district is made up of working people like that. And I'm furious that on top of all the other things California has done, they're now going to regulate this. Like, let us just, my favorite term is death by 1,000 cuts. Let's
Like
just
who's
put
got time though
another
to, but let
knife
me ask
in.
this. Who's got time to even go, need to have a different kind of tire on there? Like, who has the time? Because the other side
Well,
to it is if you're going to create this, then somebody has to regulate it. Somebody has to come out and look at it. Somebody has to deal with that, because it just becomes a challenge in and of itself.
oh yeah,
It's
because you know what?
creating
We're going
laws
to
to create
drive to
laws.
another state and we're going to buy tires that we can afford.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or tires we want. There's people that have trucks and different cars that are very particular about their tires.
Oh gosh,
So
yeah.
you have that end as well. And so to limit the market and have a scarcity going is against everything I believe. That's not what America is. America is abundance. We're not scarcity. That's why we're the best country in the world. And they
That's
want to
wild.
change that. And so things like that make me furious. California has an agenda that is just not for working class people. It's a burden for them. It's gone too far. And I would be a vote and a voice up there to say enough's enough.
Now here's the thing with California though. I can remember Reagan as a governor, which, listen, folks, I have my own personal feelings on that guy, but we won't get into that because I don't think he was as amazing as everyone thinks. If you didn't know, he's why California has the gun laws that they have. Most people don't realize that he caused those restrictive gun laws out there. But you had him, you had Schwarzenegger, you had very conservative. California for the longest time was a very, very conservative state. That this was, go west, make your money, Hollywood, money, money, money. We're not letting, all these folks take our money. Where did they go off the rails out there?
Yeah, it was a mindset of abundance, of growth, of support for new industries and new
The
housing,
49ers.
everything. Yes, yes, it was amazing. So we have, over the last 20 years, we have voted in leadership that has a fear of climate change to the point where they have an agenda for us to be net zero in our greenhouse gases by, I think it's 2035. And so every policy, every commission has this mandate, and it's just too much too fast. People can't move that fast. And the example I'd love to give people is, remember when we didn't recycle aluminum cans? We just threw them in the trash. It took us decades. Like, I'm old enough to remember, it took a long time for us to start putting aluminum into a different area because it was going to be recycled, or taking it to the recycle. Now it's automatic. Now we have special receptacles for it. We're even recycling other things. So we come along, and we always want to do and be better and take care of our environment, but it takes time. And instead of just moving down the path and letting innovation catch up to what you want to do, California says we're the leader, we're first, and we're shoving it down the throats of everybody. And so when we get to net zero in 2035, if we do make it, or sometime thereafter, it will be in the backs of all these working people in our state, and it'll be in the backs on other states and countries, because we're not really net zero. We still need the oil, the gas.
Right.
We still need all of those things, but we're just going to have somebody else do it and ship it in. And then we're going to plant a tree, Sean, and call it even.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, it's wild. I mean, because I hear what you're saying. And look, folks, if you have questions for Rhonda, please drop them in there. Or you want to check out what she's got going on. You can check out Shader, Shader for Senate.com. You can see everything that she has happening. I'm always just also curious. I mean, we're listening to things you're saying here, and we're saying it's an uphill battle. This is a far left leaning state. Trust me, I live in one myself. I live in the right coast version of your left coast one.
Yes.
We do silly. My favorite out here is we have a governor who doesn't drive, who makes laws about driving. That's my favorite. You don't drive. She's never driven. I don't know if she's even ever had a license in her life. And she makes laws about how people drive and whatnot. It's amazing. My favorite here recently was when she took office after Lord Commander Cuomo got himself in trouble. She was part of the whole crew that said, if you're not a Democrat, get out of this state. We don't need you. And then I watched an interview with her where she said, yeah, so maybe we should go down to West Palm Beach and ask some of those people that left the state if they would donate $1 million each to up here. And it was like, you have lost your ever-loving mind, woman. You're out of your mind. So I understand what you're dealing with out there, but knowing these things, knowing this uphill battle, knowing this, it sounds like you have a successful insurance practice. You're taking care of yourself. You know how to manage a business. You know how to do these kind of things. I still am not hearing a good, why would you run your head into this wall and keep doing it and doing it? Because it sounds like, I heard this recently. It was one of the best things I heard in a long time when it talked about government. And it said, in your own house, you're a communist because you make sure that the smallest person, everyone's treated equally in your own house. When you get into your community, you're a fascist. You want everybody else, you're willing to work with your community. And it's not in a bad way, but you're willing to work within your community. Once you get outside of that, nothing else matters. And you think that you can be a Democrat and it never works.
Yeah.
So why bash your head like this? Why? Like I'm serious. Like you seem like a very bright woman. So I mean, wow.
I'm sure there's going to be a limit to my personal effort. However, I have not hit it yet. I made a commitment to this race in November, and I've been working on it for quite some time. And honestly, Sean, I just believe that this is how our country works, is people, many times they're business owners, they get to a point and they say, I can sacrifice and go into public service for a time, and then come back out. And I feel like that's where I'm at. I also feel like my state is going in the wrong direction and it's hurting people. And there's a better way to do it. And it's a numbers game up there. It's votes. How many votes can you get? That's the way the process works. And so I want to be one of those votes that's going to vote the right way, and fight for the people that feel like the government in California is not working for them. It's working against them. And somebody's got to do it. We can't just roll over and let them steamroll us all the way. We have to continue the messaging that there's a better way, that we have enough, we have plenty. We can take care of the environment and take care of people and take care of business all at the same time. All of these things can be done. And we've had such bad leadership here for so long that people have a mindset that they don't think it can be done, and it can. There's a lot of states that have been like California, Iowa, Ohio, and they've been able to turn it around and get more balance in their state.
What do you mean by turning? What do you mean by they were able to turn it around?
In other words, they were all Democrat.
Oh, okay.
Iowa was. I didn't realize Republicans with seats at the table, so that now their government is operating better because they are challenging each other and they're holding each other accountable. See, we don't have any of that right now in California. And that's why you hear about fraud and waste and abuse in our system, because there's no accountability. They have a super majority and they just do whatever they want. They give money to whoever they want. There's no pushback. There's no nothing, because of the state of the legislature right now.
So I'm looking up your opponent here. Is there any other Republicans on the card right now? Or is
No,
it just
because
you?
we had a primary, so there's only 2 in every spot now. Yeah.
So it's you and him.
It's me and him.
All right. And I'm not going to say nothing horrible because I don't know nothing about Jimmy, but I mean, I'm looking at his name right now. His name's Jimmy. I'm going to question that right now. And
His
he
name is not Jimmy. You're looking
it's
at
not
the wrong.
No. I looked up District 34, California. It says Jimmy Gomez.
Maybe you got the congressional district. You have to
say. Oh,
state.
maybe that's what it is. I put up Jimmy. It's okay. I believe you. I'm just saying because it even said Los Angeles neighborhoods of Eagle Rock, Boyle Heights.
Yeah, you got the wrong race.
So, well, damn you, Google. I thought I had this.
All right, California. Out, Sean.
Listen, I'm trying. Like I was going to talk smack on the man and everything. But all right, so it's Tom Umberg.
Okay, so Tom is the sitting senator now.
Okay.
And he is termed out, so it's an open seat.
Oh, so it's completely wide open. All right, so who do we need to have kidnapped and disappear before the election? There's got to be there's somebody out there that's willing to do it. So he's
hoping for some sort of controversy or scandal.
What do they call that? An October? You need an October surprise. You need a good October surprise on him.
Yeah, I do actually.
Listen, we all love a good October surprise. I'm down with it. You know?
Yes, and
there's Kathy. Go, and I know you know Kathy Nash. Go, Rhonda. California needs help. Kathy Nash. But I mean,
Kathy.
So I mean, when I think about, especially an area like that, again, I'm gonna, not that I'm a hard hitting person in any way, shape, or form, but how does when I think of downtown Los Angeles, largest school district in the state of California with Orange County, I believe that falls under you, or the city of Orange falls under you. You've got all these things going on out there. How does a guy, and you talked about it, how does the guy who's getting up every day, jumping in his pickup truck at 5:30 in the morning to go put a roof on, or to go to I don't know how much manufacturing you guys have left out there, but go to do all these things. How does he relate to Rhonda, who owns an insurance company and, let's call it what it is, a blonde-haired white lady? How does he relate to that and go, hey, she's got my best interest at heart?
Yeah.
She understands me.
Yeah. It's an interesting concept. However, I will tell you that I've represented people like that the whole time I've been in government, because I live there. So I live in the district that is majority Hispanic. And so they're my neighbors, they're my people. I hire them, they hire me, and so we work together. And so when they meet me and they learn more about me, it becomes more than looks, and honestly, like in the Hispanic neighborhoods, they actually had a nickname for me, Juanita, which is the white lady. But it was a compliment. You know what I mean? It was something that they knew I was in their neighborhood. I was one of them. I knocked on all their doors. I talked to them. Senate districts are hard because there's so many people in them that you can't knock on everybody's door. You can get a percentage, but so I'm doing things like I'm going to do special mail programs and texting to Vietnamese, to Hispanics, because we're very much a melting pot here.
You guys are wild out there.
Languages, there's a lot of people. And so I don't know. I don't find that anything to overcome. I feel like that in California, that's just what every district looks like, so, but, I don't know that either. I don't think it's a competitive advantage by me or my opponent based on looks, like how we're going to serve them. I think it's more about policies. And if they are feeling the pinch because food is quadrupled, fuel here is almost $6 a gallon.
Oh,
Now
for
they're
regular?
messing with your tires.
Wait a sec, $6 a gallon for regular?
Yes. Yes.
How do you got? Listen, hold on, Rhonda. I get mad. Mine's if I go to a pump and it's $4, I'm mad.
No,
I
I
couldn't
know.
imagine, and I hate that fact because in Jersey it's cheaper. But how? How do you? How does anyone live there? I get it. It's sunny. You get it's warm from the forest fires. You know, you don't have to go to the gym because the earthquakes shake everything up for you. Like, how are people supposed to maintain out there when you guys have so much going on, and then the government dumps that on top of them? How do they
Right.
maintain?
Well, I think they're not. So, but what happens is I don't know. Sometimes I nickname it Stockholm syndrome or something. Like you feel like you're stuck, and it's just been so bad for so long. You can't find your way out, or you think there is no way out, and that's just simply not true. Good leadership, good decision makings, and voting differently. And this place turns around so fast, it would make people's heads spin. And so they just need to recognize that there's a different way, that there's different leadership that can be had. And when is the tipping point? That's the question for the ages. But at some point, there's going to be a tipping point in California, and the voters are going to have had enough. And they're going to want that better balance. They're going to say, you know what? This guy hasn't been getting it done. It's been getting worse and worse and worse. So let's vote this way and see if they can do anything better, if that makes sense. And then
Absolutely.
Once we have it, we sure as heck better do better. And we better have the right people in the right spots.
So, how about let me ask this question then? So, I'm a libertarian myself. Have voted that way forever. I've always seen things that way. How do you appeal to that voter that could have the power to sway this? Because we can vote it any way. We lean more conservative, but the right couple of words of, hey, we're going to stay out of your business, we're going to stay out of your pockets, and you got our vote. But how do you get that kind of a person who has, not the independent? Everybody talks about the independent. I don't really think anybody's independent. How do you get the person who has already said, well, this is who I am, to say, you know what? I am going to get out of the house and vote for Rhonda, even though she's not my candidate.
So I asked them what matters to them. Can I show you something?
Yes, please. What is that?
Can you see this?
It says, I see education, jobs.
This is my informal polling that I've been doing for a very long time. And I get booths at festivals. I just worked a festival this weekend. And I have people rank. What? They rank the issues. And they tell.
What are they booing about? I don't understand. Oh, we lost her. Rhonda, don't go. Come back. I hear you. There you are.
They rank the issues, Sean, and they tell me what matters to them. You know what's number one every single time?
Jobs.
Cost of living.
Cost of living, jobs. Okay. I can see that. Absolutely.
And for some reason, I can't hear you now, Sean.
Oh, you lost me. I can hear you.
It's me.
I think so. Kathy, if you're still watching, which one of us can you or can't you hear? Let me know. Because your camera went out. Dun, dun, dun. See, this is it. We're in the heat of it all.
Darn it.
I can hear you. Let's see.
We were doing so good.
It has to hurt for voter-owned pockets.
Can you hear me, Sean?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
I can't hear you, so I'm not sure.
I can hear and see you. So, Rhonda,
because you were coming in so perfect.
I can hear and see you both.
Let me just finish then. And I'll just say that I ask these people, and it's always cost of living. And so there's a lot in that. But we just talked about gas prices. The food prices here have quadrupled in the last 3 years. And the pay for people, it's not catching up. So how do I talk that person into it? I tell them, this is what I can do. I cannot vote for things that are going to make your cost of living go up even further than it already has. And given the chance, I can run bills to roll those things back. Because this just didn't happen. And it's not something the federal government did. California has put compliance and onerous regulations on businesses and in all of these healthcare, all of these organizations. And what do you think happened? They have to pass those along to the consumer. We all end up paying for everything. It's our money. Everything the government does is our tax dollars. It's all us paying for all of these things. So to your point, so what do I have to do? I have to get my message out to enough people to convince them that I'm the type of person that would turn it around for them, that would be a voice for them in Sacramento.
Can you hear me? Anything? Nothing?
Can't hear you.
How about that?
I don't know how that happened.
Log out and log in.
I wonder if I listened on.
Hey.
Log in.
Log out, log in.
I'm going to listen to you on my phone. I wonder if I listened on.
Hey.
Is that not
Log out. Log out, log in. Rhonda, log out and log back in.
Log out and log back in? Okay.
I got to tell you, folks, that was the first. I was Rhonda's doing this. That was the first. I've never had somebody where I had to talk to them through the show to get them to hear me. That's great. See, this is technology, and this is a live show. That's why I always say there is nothing in the world like doing it live, folks. You never know what's going to happen. Never know how things are going to happen. I want everybody to check out ShaderForSenate.com. I love the message she's giving. I love the way she's talking. So she's going to log back in here in a second. Kathy, thank you for sticking around. I'm glad to know that even though she couldn't hear me, you could still hear both of us and hear her message. It's definitely one that makes sense to me. Man, out there in California, I don't know what you folks are doing out there. Can you hear me now, Rhonda?
Yes.
There we go. I think it was because your camera popped out and popped back in. Something happened there. But what I was saying is I was telling everybody that they need to really dig in and learn more about you, because I'm just so blown away by California in general. And it's a beautiful state. You know, I joke about, that you have every natural disaster under the sun there. From you can go up to Big Bear and get 40 feet of snow, and then, go a little bit further down the road and, be in the middle of a forest fire, and then a mudslide, and then an earthquake. You guys have it all out there.
Yeah.
It almost blows my mind that the state would want to create its own natural disaster that it is. That it's creating a man-made disaster with what it's doing to the people out there. Because I have family in San Diego County that own businesses, and I hear about the cost. I know other people who own franchises that I own, and they talk about the cost of doing business out there. And most of them are kind of in that boat of like, I've just been here so long. It's like you said, it's the Stockholm syndrome. They've been there so long. They're like, well, this is just how things get done here. This is how we have to do it. And it blows my mind that you guys,
and especially our entrepreneurs, Sean, like our people that run businesses. I met with 100 businesses in 100 days last year. And, our business owners, their makeup is risk takers and get it done people. And so they just keep absorbing whatever the government throws at them. but the burden is heavy at times. And I think that they just have absorbed it so much, like you're saying, they just don't know any other way.
Right.
But
What's
when
the livelihood
these
that they've
companies
created?
pull the trigger and go to another state, all of a sudden they're like, oh my goodness. You know,
Well,
and
that's
why
huge there.
California would attack business is just absolutely beyond me.
Well, we all know for a fact that small business is the number one overall employer. You know,
Yeah.
I think government itself is the only one that's bigger, but if you group all small business together, they employ more people than your Silicon Valley and all that. They just don't have well, you know, one of the things we've lost throughout this country, and it's odd probably to hear somebody say, hey, I'm a libertarian, then I'm going to talk about unions, is small businesses aren't unionized any as they were, you know, 50, 60, 70 years ago. You don't have a barbers union anymore, right, where guys that are barbers all get together. You don't have anything like that to be a legislative power for them to work together to fight these things. How can, you know, and even chambers of commerce to me are useless. You know, it's great. Hey, you belong to the chamber. That's nice. You know, maybe you can get some better health insurance for your employees because of group pricing, but they're not legislating for you the way they would. For those small businesses, what is your appeal to them?
So my ask to them, obviously I'm a candidate, so my ask to them is to stand up for something, to fight back. And whatever that means for them now, fight back through me. Send people up there, you know, to protect you. Write letters. I try to stay in touch with them on new taxes or things that happen so that they can weigh in. You just can't keep ignoring it. And I think business owners are so busy, they have so much going on that they don't want to add this to their plate. The problem is that to survive here, you have to add it to your plate. You have to give to the political action committee. You have to give to candidates. You have to promote candidates. You have to have them into your company to talk to the employees so they'll vote. You have to do uncomfortable things, but you got to do it in the name of your business survival. Like nobody's going to fault you for that. And private business can do that. But everybody wants to stay out of it. I mean, we can't even get a lot of Republicans to vote in this state. So I
feel hopeless.
Exactly. And I don't blame them, but I blame them. Because I'm like, wait a minute. There's still a lot of us that are fighting for this. Please come alongside us. You know, be a part of the resistance, of the rebellion against what's been going on. And write a check, send a letter, say something, because when you do, it's very powerful. And we have proven it. There have been some really onerous things that Sacramento's tried to do, and we've pushed it out, and people have weighed in. Usually it's something about public safety, something very onerous and horrible, and people will finally weigh in. They will finally say something. And you know what? Just them weighing in on something, enough people, it scares even the Democrats enough that they'll be like, okay, we're not going to do that now. And they'll set it aside. They'll set that bill aside. So there is power in the people joining together. To your point, we're very unorganized. We don't have a union rep to organize us. So we're very sporadic. But there are pockets of people, and even some of the chambers here, Sean, have created political action committees because, you know, separate from the chamber, because, you know, the fight is real, and we have to do something. And so there are a lot of people trying. It's just the beast has gotten so big, you know, it's a David and Goliath out here, for sure. But David did win when he was able to get that rock in the right spot. And if we can get an October surprise, Sean, we might get some wins out here.
Listen, I don't know, and we'll talk about this and say, hey, folks, it's almost closing time here at the bar. It's the end of August. Here we are at the end of summer, maybe winding down, but that doesn't mean we're ready to pack it up just yet. There are still warm nights, backyard fires, weekend get-togethers, and plenty of reasons to sit back with people, good people, and enjoy a great pour. This episode is brought to you by New Scotland Spirits, handcrafted right here in upstate New York. So before the calendar fills up, the leaves start changing, and everyone starts talking about pumpkin everything, take a little time and enjoy the last stretch of the summer. Grab some friends, pour something local, and make another memory before August is gone. Visit newscotlandspirits.com to find your next bottle. New Scotland Spirits. Summer may be ending. The good times don't have to. So
That's right.
That's what I'm talking about. And I'll say, listen, when you win, tell me, and I'll send you a bottle of New Scotland out there. So, but I mean, I'm just thinking about everything you've got going on, Rhonda, and everything happening out there. And I know what you mean by, it only takes one county. I happen to live in like one of those counties here in New York where we're directly across. It's great. New York's weird. We have the Hudson River that you would think is like 300 miles wide. People don't cross the river. Like it's this great dividing line. And I live in a county where our county executive is suing New York State over laws. I live in a county where our sheriff is like, I'm not doing that. You can't make me do it. So we live in one of those counties. So I understand, like, you can be in the heart of the lion's den there and still fight back. It just takes people to kind of group together and go, hey, we're grouping this up. We're done. We're done with the BS. So, if what kind of things, like, so I know you said you're doing some text messaging campaigns and some mail out campaigns. Is there anything that you feel like you're doing unique to your campaign? And listen, if you don't want to give away the secret, I understand that you're doing unique to your campaign, that you've kind of looked at some of these larger ones, nationally and said, maybe that is where I need to be. It's a little different than people would realize that you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, I would say that I'm personally the X factor because I work harder than my opponent and many politicians. So no one's going to outwork me. And that means that I'm always thinking, I'm always coming up with the next idea. I'm the one that's willing to have the booth at the festival in the 98-degree heat and meet with the people and talk to the people. And because the election does not change the date based on the weather.
I want you to know something though, Rhonda. So when I Google Senate District 34 candidates, California, you're the first person that pops up. You're the first one that pops up, and some assemblyman trying to slide in. Yeah. Okay. Listen, first off, pal, let's talk about this guy for a second here. I can talk about him. I'm out here. Okay. With your shirt open and your tattoo like blaring in his shirt. Have you seen this picture? Who is this guy? Like this is the picture on Voice of OC. Make sense of the noise. The morning report. I pulled this up. Here you are, looking very polished. You got your big game-winning smile on here. The whole 9 yards. It's the same picture we posted. His picture looks angry, and I can see whatever tattoo he has across his chest blaring out with his Fabio look going on here with the shirt open. What is going on here? That's not a politician.
Oh, I see it.
You see this now? What is going on here with this assemblyman?
If you read his bio, you would understand more about him.
Okay, what is it? Where I got to find his bio now. Listen, what is going on here? So I don't understand. Like, what is he going on with here? And he's currently an assemblyman. So.
Yes.
Right. And he's trying to move up, or is he about to age out?
He wants to switch houses. Yes.
I didn't know you guys had term. See, I'm also very anti-term limits, and here's why. And a lot of people are like, well, how can you be anti-term limits? Because we already have term limits. We're talking about them right now.
Yeah.
Don't vote don't vote for him. Voila, his term ended. It's like magic that way.
I'm for term limits because I feel like the voters have gotten lazy and they don't know what's going on. And so term limits saves them from themselves in certain circumstances. But I agree. I mean, that's the way the Constitution was. That's why we don't have term limits for Congress and Senate.
So he's a Hopkins grad. He's a Hopkins grad. I give him that. I'm from Baltimore, so I gotta give that part a little credit here. After playing Division I college football and pursuing a career in the NFL, so he's got CTE. Why are we voting for him? They just said the NFL just said on the news yesterday that 1 in 4 players, not will.
Well, it probably wasn't him because he only played for like a quarter and never touched the ball, and that was the end of his career.
But I mean, he still played Division I ball.
He
still played Division I. Still played Division I. I mean,
that is true.
I mean, let's go with it. So I think
so he probably has been knocked in the noggin quite a bit.
I think that's our October surprise.
So when that didn't work out, Sean, he went straight into politics. So
it's a competitive sport. Politics is a competitive sport.
It is. I just have to tell you that I have always liked a good business candidate who has employed people and signed the front and backs of checks and had to run a business and balance a budget. And, I just think I'm the more qualified candidate.
Let's see. Kristen says she agrees with term limits because we have voters who will vote just because your ballot designation states incumbent. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody vote because it says incumbent. I can see party line.
Kristen has a picture of us there too.
Look at that. Kristen. Yes. I will agree with people vote party lines. I think more so people just look at it and go, well, that sticker's blue and that sticker's red. I don't know anything about these guys.
You can't do that, Sean. You have to think.
Listen, I'm 100%. I'm 100% with you, but I think people do that. They look at it and they go, well, that guy's sticker's blue and that guy's sticker's red. That's the way I'm gonna vote. I'm looking for my purple sticker. I'm looking for my purple sticker every day.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, and I agree with you though. There is something to be said about the fact that I also believe that no politician should make enough money to live off of. I don't think if you make enough money to live off of politics, that's really where the problem is. Because when you don't make enough money to live off of politics, you will quickly change your tune about how long you want to sit up there.
Yeah.
Your attitude changes. Like, if this isn't paying the bills, how about in California? Do you guys have do you have any rules about not being able to invest like stocks and all that kind of stuff? Do you guys have that also?
I don't think so.
Mm-mm. So they can invest in so that becomes another thing. Like, how would you feel about that if somebody came along and was like, hey, listen, politicians here can't invest in companies that are located in this state because it's state. I'm curious. What's your feelings on that?
I mean, I would be okay with it, but also we do have a disclosure statement every year. We have to say if we own any stock.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have to tell people about what we're investing in. That's why I just stick to mutual funds.
Gotcha.
Because there's no reporting there.
Look, Nancy's out there. She's worth gajillions. And Nancy's like, they have apps that just follow her trading. You can follow and make this app trade for you everything she trades.
Interesting.
Did you know that was a thing? Like you could just set it up and be like, whatever Nancy Pelosi does, I want you to do that for me. And the app is like, sounds good. And you move, and it buys what you can afford that she has, and it moves it just whatever she's doing, it does exactly that.
Oh.
How insane is that?
Yeah, it's insane.
What the hell happened there? See, this is proof. They're coming. See, this is what it is.
I knew you'd be back, Sean. I waited.
California's coming for me. California's already coming for me. And Kristen says you have a plan to problem solve and reach the needs of her district. I absolutely believe it. Rhonda, I have to tell you, I have loved this conversation. This is probably one of my fastest interviews I've had in a long time. Just like I'm looking at my time and going, shit, we're almost done. Like, absolutely love your approach. Love what you're doing here. I love the fact that you didn't get into this as like, well, this is all I do. Is, you know, I couldn't do anything else, so I'm going to go into politics, and just kind of ran with it.
I have plenty of other things I would like to do. Just ask Kristen.
What's the thing? I'm seeing it.
But I feel like I need to do this right now. So I feel like I'm called to do this right now. So that's what I'm doing. And I would be honored to serve the people for a time. But to your point, it's not something that's going to last for me because, you know, the financial burden and the time burden and all of that, you know, but I can do it. That's the way our system works. I think people need to sacrifice and they need to play a role in their government at some point in some way.
Well, I think you just said it. You know, it's a financial burden. You know, it's a difficult. It's not a stepping stone for you to move on. You know, I'm looking at this, you know, and it's not a stepping stone to go from, well, I was on this seat, now I need this seat. Well, because if I get to this seat, you know, they're going to move me onto this chair. It's not what you're saying here. You're saying that this is like, hey, I have a needs of my community. My community needs me. I can see the value in it. I'm going to sacrifice on this end for that. And I love that.
Yeah.
Any rallies, anything coming up?
Yeah.
Rallies, anything you got coming up? Anything where if somebody wanted to come out and hear you speak, where could they do that at?
Oh, well, I do from time to time speak at different clubs and organizations. I have an event tomorrow in Santa Ana. I'm also doing some ballot events. So they can, if they go to my website and give me their information, they can stay in touch with me and find out where I'm going to be and when, because I push out communications on a regular basis. Nice. Also on my social media as well. So, yeah, I'd love people to come and join the party.
Well, I'm hoping that I can tell everybody about this amazing candidate that was on here. And then next thing you know, she's now District 34 in California's new representative in their Senate. And listen, folks, if you're finding me through Rhonda or Rhonda through me, please take a time, like, share, follow, do all those kind of things. I know it sounds cliche, but that's how everybody's messages get out, how everybody finds out about what's going on for each other. So please take your time and do those things. We do this every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as I tell you that and I say, hey, but I'm not doing it next week. I'm going to be taking a little bit of, I'm taking a week off here, folks, going out to Maine. But if you're digging this, we will be having our next guest is a gentleman by the name of, I'm going to pronounce this so wrong, Jevoy, Jevoy Palmer. He's grew up in the streets of Jamaica to building a business that solves real problems in a digital world flooded with forgettable content. He's emerging as a powerful voice for entrepreneurs and business leaders looking for something deeper than viral trends and surface level marketing. He's the founder of a company called Palmer House Productions. So if you want to check him out before we have the show, please do so. Now, Rhonda, you told me as the show was getting ready to go that you've done a little research. So you should know what's coming up next and don't log off on me afterwards. But the guest always gets the final word. And this needs to be a big one because we're going to be gone for a week here and you've got this race coming up and we're looking for an October surprise here. So what is our final word for tonight?
Don't give up on California. We are going to make it golden again and everybody's going to want to move here. It's going to be the best state in the country.
All righty, folks. Be sure to push your stool in. This has been a Second Front podcast presentation found on Apple, Spotify, and wherever podcasts can be found. You go.